Hey guys, CC Report here, and today it's just a quick update on free agency for you. Today is the final day before teams can start negotiating with unrestricted free agents. There are over 100 of these in the league this offseason, so starting tomorrow you can expect a zoo of activity, a madhouse of activity with teams negotiating with over 100 players and the players changing teams, all that sort of thing. But today is kind of a little bit the quiet before the storm. Right now, teams are only able to negotiate with restricted free agents and extend core qualifying offers, which only are about a handful of the players that are in the association. So it's not a ton of movement around the league. However, two of the biggest moves that have been made throughout the league do belong to the Indiana Fever, so let's talk about them real fast. Move number one, it's probably the most important move that the Fever are going to make the entire offseason, and that would be to core Kelsey Mitchell. If you guys recall, a few weeks ago, I issued out a video about Kelsey Mitchell and the reasons that I believed that the Fever were going to make this move. It is the move that makes the most sense. It is the move that preserves the core trio of Kelsey Mitchell, Aliyah Boston, and Caitlin Clark for at least one more year. It also is the move that the Fever front office and Caitlin herself a while ago on Sunday Night Basketball said was going to be the number one priority for the Fever. And indeed, that has taken place. What exactly does the core designation mean? What does it mean for the Fever moving forward? Well, basically, the core designation has now guaranteed Kelsey Mitchell at least a one-year contract with the Fever for the Supermax value of $1.4 million. That is guaranteed. If Kelsey comes to the Fever, she will receive at least that. Could that offer change? Yes, it could. They can negotiate now whatever terms that they want to negotiate, as long as they mutually agree on whatever terms those are. This core offer could become a multi-year offer. This core could become a multi-year offer for less than the Supermax. It could become a multi-year offer in which the Supermax is distributed differently year upon year. It could become any of that. But it at least is going to be guaranteed to be the 1 year at a Supermax unless they decide differently. Do I think that they are going to do this? I personally don't, because unless all three, Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Caitlin Clark, are already in accord and with the front office and know exactly what the plan is moving forward, which is a possibility, my prediction is that they are just going to can the discussion about what to do with those three max eligible players until next offseason, when it becomes a problem that really does need to be solved. But right now I'm just thinking, let's get these three signed and under contract and let's play out the season and see what happens from there. That makes the most logical sense to me. Could be different, we don't really know, but at least we do know that Kelsey Mitchell will be in a Fever uniform this season. Now, could Kelsey refuse this Supermax core offer? She could, but if she were to do so, because the core gives the Fever exclusive negotiating rights with her, it means that she would not only be walking away from $1.4 million, it also means that no other team would be able to sign her for the entire year, meaning that Kelsey Mitchell would be walking away from $1.4 million, and she would be walking away from the WNBA altogether this year, as opposed to simply accepting the Supermax contract that we are offering her and that only we can offer her and play out the season with the Indiana Fever. So the chances of that happening are remote. The other possibility that I've heard bandied around, could they core her and then could they trade her? The answer to this is no, not without her permission. It is against the rules to core a player and then trade her and flip her for assets without her permission. That has always been the case, and it always will be the case. So they're not going to do that without her permission. Would Kelsey ask to be traded? No, I don't think that that's a realistic possibility. She has gone on record millions of times by now, saying over and over and over again that she loves the Fever, that she's had an excellent time with the Fever. Last year specifically, she said that Coach Stephanie White made her believe in herself like she's never believed in herself before, etc., etc., etc. So as long as Caitlin's there, as long as Aliyah's there, as long as Stephanie White's there, the chances of her asking out of her contract and being traded to somewhere else are pretty remote. So I think that I can safely guarantee Kelsey will be an Indiana Fever for at least this next year, and then we'll see what comes next offseason, exactly how I predicted a couple of weeks ago. That's move number one. Move number two that the Fever made, they extended a restricted free agent offer to Lexie Hull. What does this mean? It means that Lexie can go test the free market, see what kind of offers that are out there for her services. But any offer that she receives, the Fever have the first right to match that offer and override it so that they return Lexie to the Fever. This means that unless there is some crazy offer out there for her, if there's some team that wants to offer her a max contract or whatever, unless that happens, then Lexie will be returning to the Fever as well. Is there a team out there that will be willing to overpay for Lexie? I don't think that there is. Her numbers do not justify a max contract. Certainly, they don't justify an $800,000 contract. Certainly, they don't justify anything more than a league average contract. That is what the market says that she is. Those are what her numbers are justified at, and I think that the Fever would be willing to overpay a little bit. Right now, the numbers say that she's probably going to be in the $500,000 range, which is a lot. And so, would the Fever be willing to overpay that amount? I think they probably would be willing to go to $600,000 if they had to. But beyond that, it's not really realistic to think that there's going to be another team out there that is willing to pay that much for Lexie. But if there was, if it's something over $600,000, then you say go with God, vaya con Dios, and wish her luck. But I just don't see that type of a market out there for Lexie at all. So I think it's safe to say that Lexie will be returning to the Fever as well. These are two very, very important offseason moves. Obviously, Kelsey Mitchell completes the trio and completes the Fever's number one front office priority. And having Lexie return as well has been a stated goal and an important goal as well. What she does for the Fever is invaluable, and bringing her back at about $500,000, to me, honestly, it's a bargain. One other thing to talk about, and that is Alanna Smith. She is a forward for the Minnesota Lynx. She was the co-defensive player of the year last year, and she recently has been captured on video saying the following.
Any opportunity, I think, like I said, I think it's about best fit. And, I loved Minnesota, but a lot of teams are looking different this year, so I think I'd be doing a disservice to myself if I wasn't exploring other opportunities.
And so from what you hear in this video, it sounds to me, she references her time with the Lynx as past tense. It sounds to me like she is willing and ready to hit the open market and listen to and entertain offers as a true free agent. Why is this important? Well, number one, as if you have read my comprehensive free agency breakdown on Twitter, which I suggest that you do, it took me a long time to write, you will know that one of the biggest priorities that I see for this offseason, now that Kelsey Mitchell has been brought back into the fold, is addressing the power forward position. This is something that is only made more important by Angel Reese's being traded to the Atlanta Dream yesterday, and I made a video about that trade yesterday as well. It is super important that the Fever acquire a power forward that is able to credibly defend not only Angel Reese, but Brianna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, etc., etc. These high caliber, top tier, playoff caliber offensive forces, they're all MVP candidates, and they are all going to be in the playoffs, and we are going to have to match up against all of them if we want to win a championship. So upgrading at that position is absolutely crucial. And Alanna Smith is the number one name that would be able to credibly defend against these players. Would she be able to become a Fever? Yes, I believe that she would be for a number of reasons. Number one, she is elite defender. She is an elite rim protector. She is an absolutely elite player in those metrics. Last year, she was the second highest individual defensive rated player. She led the number one defense in the entire league. She was second in the league in steals and blocks. She was third in the league in blocks alone. She alters shots. Her field goal percentage allowed for her in the paint is only about 40%, and she defends at about a 33% rate allowed from three. These are all amazing, excellent defensive statistics. So why then is she not going to be paid a max contract? Because her offensive statistics are not necessarily up to par with those defensive statistics. She only averages about 9.6 points per game. She only averages about 5 rebounds per game. She only averages about 1.2 assists per game. The traditional metrics, especially offensively, are pretty pedestrian, but defensively is where she shines. And the other way in which she shines is that she is an excellent floor spacer. She is a threat, a credible threat from the three-point line. She only shot 33% last year from 3 points, but her career percentage from three is around 40%. She takes 4 3-point shots per game. So as a floor spacer, she is very good at her position. For the Fever, who need a four that is able to credibly defend all of those players that I just talked about, and who also are looking to floor space, to spread the floor out as wide as it can be, and to have every single player out there be a credible three-point threat, she is the perfect number 4 to slot in alongside Caitlin Clark, who is certainly a credible threat from 3, Kelsey Mitchell, who is certainly a credible threat from 3, Sophie Cunningham is a credible threat from 3, and Aliyah Boston, as we've seen with her improved three-point shot and unrivaled, is also a credible threat from 3. So now if we were to sign Alanna Smith, that would be ideal for us. So what are we thinking in terms of the market for her? Well, she is going to be in demand. There is no question about it. All the credentials that I just talked about in terms of her defensive credentials, they are going to be high. She is going to be expensive. There is no doubt about it. And now that we've just scored Kelsey Mitchell, we are at least going to be having her as a Supermax player for one more year. We are likely going to extend Aliyah Boston on that epic rookie deal to a max contract this year. But even then, we still can afford to pay Alanna Smith competitively with any other team that's out there, unless there is some team that is willing to pay a max contract to Alanna Smith, even though offensively she's pretty pedestrian. It is likely that that team is not out there, because every team is having their own cap issues. Every team out there is dealing with their own set of problems. That's number one. And so any offer that those teams can make, it's likely not going to be a max contract offer. But 2, it's not like the highest number automatically wins. The number itself is one thing to take into account, but the other things to take into account are, team facilities, what's the team's championship chances like? What is the makeup of the team? Who am I going to be playing with, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And how does the team treat its players? And in those metrics, Indy is right there at the top with any other team that is out there. So we're talking about, teams that might be in the conversation for Alanna Smith. Dallas might be in the conversation for Alanna Smith. Chicago might be in the conversation for Alanna Smith. There are other teams out there that might be in the conversation for Alanna Smith, but in terms of the entire overall package that we can offer, Indy is going to be just as competitive, if not more so, than most, if not all, of the other teams that are out there. So we can be competitive for Alanna Smith, and we need to be in order to bring her on board and make our championship team complete. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be an easy sell, but Amber Cox has a pretty good history of bringing in the free agents that she has targeted. She did a lot of that and was able to remake the team completely last offseason. And so hopefully she can keep her run going, because to add Alanna Smith to the core of Caitlin, Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, that is a scary team. So those are the 3 things to talk about today. If there's any other free agency news, I will let you know, but I'm not particularly expecting any. Tomorrow may be different, probably will be different, because that's when unrestricted free agency truly does begin. What do I expect in terms of unrestricted free agency? Tomorrow, I'm not necessarily expecting much in the way of official announcements because actual signings cannot take place until Saturday. However, I do expect for there to be leaks. I do expect for Alexa Philippou to have some things to say. I do expect for Annie Constable to have some things to say. I do expect for Chloe Peterson with the Fever to have some things to say. But I don't expect for the official announcements to be made until Saturday. So we may get news tomorrow. We may get a lot of news tomorrow. We may get no news tomorrow. It's just hard to tell at this point because the negotiations are only just beginning. But I will be there with you every step of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the CC Report, and we'll talk to you next time.